All right, here's some of the questions I get asked all the time about the Philippines. Can a foreigner own property in the Philippines? No. Okay, so what can you do? The easiest way, if you want to buy property, is to register it in the name of a Filipino. Then register a mortgage on the title that is higher than the value of the property. This means you actually go in person to the registrar of deeds in the area where you're buying this. You take the mortgage documents and the original title, and they will take the original title and the title they have on file, put them together, and they will type the terms of the mortgage on both titles. So it's registered on title. You make this a demand mortgage, so at any point in time, you can demand the money back, the owner defaults in your favor, and you can sell or transfer the land to somebody else. That's the easiest way to do it. If you want to build on that property, then get a document from the owner of the property saying that, you know, they're giving you permission to build, that you own the building, and should you ever vacate the property, you will be reimbursed for the construction costs. Have this document notarized. Also, there's a process for the owners of buildings, and I do this on someone else's property. This is called a tax declaration. This means you pay the taxes on the building and it proves your ownership. Okay, just a side note on getting documents notarized in the Philippines. Always be sure that all parties are present with the notary public at the time of signing. If possible, get pictures of everybody signing documents, the same as they do at weddings. Even better, get a video of the people signing the documents. That way nobody can ever deny that they signed those documents. Okay, another question. Can a foreigner own a business in the Philippines? No. Flat out. First of all, I'm not going to get involved in discussing corporate laws, Philippines 60/40 corporations, SEC registered entities. That's way too complex. We're talking small business here. If you're going to get into big business, get a lawyer. Okay, however, I will say this. Even the lawyers will tell you that you can get a 60/40 Philippine corporation, find 6 Filipinos and use their names for 10% each ownership, and then have them sign the shares over to you. All right. The problem with this, and it ties into my earlier discussion about notarizing documents, is that you'll have these shares signed over to you and kept in your safe deposit box, but of course it's impossible for you to have them notarized at the time, because signing these documents, signing these shares over to you, violates the anti-dummy laws here in the Philippines. You can't, you're not going to get away with it that. Therefore, you'll have 6 documents in your safe box with a signature on that the Filipinos can simply deny signing at any time because they're not notarized. They'll never stand up in court, and oftentimes, at times like this, people will use different signatures just so they can do that, so they have an opportunity in the future. And trust me, I have had friends lose businesses that way. Okay, enough about that. Small business ownership is fairly simple. As a foreigner, you can legally have a building and a land lease in your name. You can also have the phone, the electricity, the cable, the internet, the bank accounts, etc. in your name. Everything that you purchase, all the stock, the furnishings, the fixtures, the lightings can be purchased in your name. The website and any and all marketing can be done in your name. Any vehicles can be registered in your name. So you set up a business and everything in the business is owned or controlled by you, period. Okay, you do need the business license to be held by a Filipino. Of course, you're going to choose someone you trust and make sure they understand everything that I've just said. If they ever try to take this business from you, and I've had this happen to me, then you take the license off the wall and you hand it to them and you tell them to leave the premises. They've also just lost their job. Then you find somebody else, you get another business license, And I guarantee you, you can still use the same name on your store, your shop, your business, whatever. Even if it doesn't match the license documents, no one will ever come and check. I guarantee that. Okay, so another one. Can a foreigner own and carry a gun in the Philippines? No, 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 no. I don't care. It is against the Constitution of the Philippines for foreigners to own or carry firearms, period. The only exception is visiting military forces. So unless you're active military operating in the Philippines, under the Visiting Forces Agreement, you cannot ever own or carry firearms, period. Now be careful. People will tell you that it's okay. They will get you permits to carry. They will get you licenses. They will sell you guns. But if you are ever caught with a firearm in the Philippines, you're going to prison for 7 years. And trust me, wow, no fun there at all. Don't believe anybody else about this. Trust me, I've really researched this before. Before I came here, I always had a short shotgun with a permit to hunt wolves because that permit was valid year-round. I also carried a blade, always a straight blade, a folding blade. If you're caught with a gun here, you're going to jail for 7 years. If you're caught with any kind of a knife, it's considered carrying a concealed weapon. You're doing 2 to 4. It makes me sad, but it's not worth the risk. Can a foreigner work in the Philippines on a tourist visa? Well, of course not. That doesn't say you can't own a business, manage it, and invest here. It just means you cannot work. And honestly, I'm okay with that. If you're planning to do something where you actually need to be the one working, you've got that skill that's really necessary, you can always get a visa. I mean, the Philippines really wants us to stay. They really want our money. I'm not going to get into a discussion here about the different visas or the criteria that you need, but I will say this, money talks. Now, of course, you could always get married, and that comes with an automatic work permit, but I would not advocate this because, there is no divorce in the Philippines. So those are some of the questions I've been asked the most, and hopefully that's helpful. Cheers. The Resort Rebel team are business professionals in the Philippines. If you are interested in business, fun, travel, or the business of fun travel, then Resort Rebel has the answers you need. Welcome to the Philippines.